Hello, this is John Woodward with Sarasota Real Estate Group, and today we're going to go through some of the advanced search fields. What we're going to first do here is click on Advanced Search from the main window, and what we see here is our advanced search. The first thing, in any of the counties that you search, you can search all counties: Charlotte, Hillsborough, Manatee, Pinellas, or Sarasota, but we're just going to pick Sarasota for right now. If you want to search multiple areas, all you do is hit the area you want to look at, and at the same time hold the control key down, and you can get multiple areas. You just go down and click what you want, and that's how you get multiple areas. If you want to take them out, just hold the key down and click again. The instructions for that are located at the bottom of the screen. The first fields are fairly self-explanatory: the price on the lower and upper limit, minimum square footage, beds, baths. The minimum lot size I would tend to stay away from unless you're looking at acreage property, which would be east of 75 and that sort of thing. Water extras. Now this field is specifically for the boaters out there. This was designed to make it easy to locate homes that were on sailboat water, which is going to be the rarest, the best, and the most expensive. If you back off that a little bit, you end up with boating water, which may be something like a canal or a location that would require you going under some sort of a bridge, but definitely not sailboat water. Then we have bayfront, beachfront, lakefront, and obviously riverfront. Community extras. There's several good choices in here. The one we use the most is the deed restricted communities, which in Florida usually represent the nicer communities. We also have gated communities, golf course communities, maintenance free communities. And if you are in a situation where, say, you want to park an RV or you have a boat you want to park, this would be the opposite of deed restricted, which would be no deed restrictions. And if you want something that has security, that could be chosen as well. What you'll find in a lot of these is some of these overlap. Obviously, a gated community is probably going to be a deed restricted community. A golf course community is probably going to be deed restricted, and it also may be gated. It also might be maintenance free. So there is some overlap between these. But if you really want a golf community, it's a great way to just limit your property selections just to golf, or, as we said, deed restricted. There are also a few airport communities, but of course with any advanced search you have to use a little bit of common sense. If you're looking downtown, don't look for airport properties. There's just not enough lot size there to have a private landing strip. Garage spaces. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is a minimum amount of garage spaces, so if you select 2, you'll get 2, 3, 4, and beyond that. Year built, that's pretty straightforward. If you pick 1997 plus, obviously that's going to be everything newer. Pool is yes or no. There's a little bit of difference on a single family home. If you select yes, you'll get private pools and community pools, a subdivision with community pools. Obviously if you select no, you'll get neither. In a condominium situation, there's no such thing as a private pool, so it's pretty much a community-based pool. Short sale. This is a helpful field. We find as time goes on, there are more and more people that come to us that have either heard about or have personally been involved in some of the anguish of trying to purchase a short sale. A lot of those don't close. They typically take a lot of time, and if you're a serious buyer who wants to take advantage of interest rates or pricing, the idea of having to wait 4 to 6 months for an answer and a probable rejection on your offer is not very appealing. So you can eliminate those by selecting no, I don't want any short sales. If you really want to look at short sales, you can select yes. If you don't care, you can do no preference. Property description. This is probably going to apply more towards the condominium buyer. It's going to have a lot to do with that, and then it's going to, for the single family, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. Doesn't get used a lot, but it's a handy feature to have. Exterior construction is another big one. We feel in Florida that the preference is always going to be towards a block constructed home. The alternative to that is obviously a wood frame constructed home. We find that obviously block seems to survive a little bit better in the tropical moist climate of South Florida. If you don't care one way or the other, you can specify no preference. A lot of these entries are secondary. Obviously, if you pick block, chances are it's going to be stucco. Stucco also could be over wood frame, but that's a little bit of local knowledge there. But typically, if it's important to you, you'll be choosing block. Frontage is a little bit more detailed than the water extras that we mentioned earlier. They're pretty self-explanatory, the choices here, but a little common sense is if you're using frontage, don't use water extras because they tend to overlap, and what you end up with is with no listings at all. The primary searches here you'll find you can search for single-family homes, condos, land, and multi-residential. That concludes going over the fields kind of quickly. Again, if you have any questions or any comments you'd like to make, at the top of every screen you'll see a contact button or our telephone number. Feel free to call us or hit the contact button and we'll get back to you just as quick as we can. Thanks again for looking at Sarasota One. This is John Woodward with Sarasota Real Estate Group, and good luck with your search. Thanks.